Good morning, Mevers parents. This is our last coffee chat with the principal. We are going to be doing some exciting things with some of our new parents, the parents who were so privileged to have decided to bring their kids to Mevers next year. We'll be doing some Zoom sessions and some other informational pieces about some of the exciting changes we have next year, but actually having a guest and kind of closing out this year. This is our last show. This has been easily one of the most enjoyable things I've done. Today is going to be a little confusing because we have someone who's a friend of mine and also just a great educator, caring, compassionate, very dedicated, and has been with CSUSA for many years, actually much longer than I have, and assisted in played a huge role in opening up Duval Charter School at Coastal alongside me, and really exemplifies everything that I think is important in a teacher, and that's hard work, dedication to kids, students first, and also the ability to laugh and smile, and bring that energy and excitement to the building. So, the main reason that I'm bringing her on the show today is that I'm very excited that she will be making the trip up, from Jacksonville and joining the Mevers staff next year. One of the areas that we really want to focus on, you may remember we had Mr. Mark Hage on our show a few weeks ago, and he's the director of Attitude is Altitude. And that's a curriculum for social emotional learning to kind of help our students, guide them through the non-academic, if you will, side of a school that dramatically impacts the academic side, but really focusing on the whole child, as CSUSA really does, as one of our main goals, is to make sure we do focus on the whole child. So next year we're actually incorporating the AIA curriculum into our special classes for several of our grade levels, to make sure that we can help them navigate what it's like to be a student at our school. Of course, we're not sure what next year is going to look like, but we want to make it as normal as possible. But even before all of this pandemic setting, the teacher we're going to bring out was actually going to be living, her husband's being transferred to Virginia. So she's actually living in Virginia, and she was going to be doing distance learning for AIA, which was something we were already looking at kind of trying out and kind of moving the needle on, taking advantage of someone didn't physically have to be in a location. So we're really anxious. It kind of gave us a little bit of a head start on what summer's going to look like. Of course, what this year's ended like, and maybe what next year may start like. So I'm just really excited for you guys to get a chance to meet Miss Davis. The reason I say it's going to be a little confusing, of course, we have Brittany Davidson, and the person I'm about to introduce to you is Mrs. Brittany Davis. So I think when we were backstage, Miss Davison shared with Miss Davis that I call her Brittany Davis quite often. As you can see, the names are pretty similar. So without any further introduction, let me bring out an amazing teacher, great educator, and a friend of mine, Mrs. Brittany Davis.
Hi, good morning, Mevers Eagles, as my phone falls down. Whoops.
Yeah, guys, I told you she was funny. I set him up. I said how great of a sense of humor you had. Hey, Brittany, I've got a few
really big entrance. What's better than dropping the phone? Good
morning,
morning,
Eagles. Hey, could you hear the nice things I was saying about you?
I did, and wow. I was so thankful.
Surprised you didn't start crying.
I've been really trying to get a hold of my emotions lately because I've been kind of a crybaby since Adam is gone. So he's like a game with him. He'll send me things and he'll be like, "Are you crying yet? Are you crying yet?" So I've really toughened my skin. So
I've always liked that, and sadly, I like it even more now. Anyway,
I'm such
with
a
that,
softie.
I have a few questions I want to ask you, Davis. As you know,
sure.
Listen, you've been part of the CSUSA family for a long time, and we always kind of ask this question, but we're so blessed to work for an educational organization that focuses on family and focuses on relationships. So with that, tell us a little bit about your family and your experiences with CSUSA.
Well, my journey started a long time ago. We were the first schools in North Florida, and I didn't really know anything about CSUSA, but I was lucky enough to have a friend that was transferring from Pensacola, Florida, and he was going over to work there, and I just happened to be transferring. My husband was transferring to Jacksonville, and he was like, come get a job with me at my school. I was actually a teacher's aide for ESE. This was back in like 2009. And he said, come with me. And I said, okay, let me see what I can work out. So I went to the school, and Teresa Brown was there, and Maria Avens. We all know Teresa and Maria, dynamic duo, and they were opening scholars. My phone is just not cooperating. It's fine.
I'm sure it's the phone's fault. Yes.
It is actually the flowers holding it behind it. Maria Avens kept telling me, she's like, we don't have any jobs for you, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to keep coming back until I get hired. And she's like, you're not going to get a job, basically, that they were full. And so I came and I filed papers when they were in the temporary office for about a week. And finally, to make small talk with Teresa. And Teresa's like, you really want to work here, right? She's like, I don't know anyone crazy enough to file papers for a week for free. You're not even getting paid. And I'm like, it's fine. So finally she comes in, she asked me some interview questions, but they weren't like teaching questions. They were more growth mindset questions.
Love it.
So apparently I nailed it. And so Teresa's like, you're hired. And I come out, and Maria has this like such smug look on her face. And she's like, you got a job, didn't you? So from that point, I just kind of fell in love with CSUSA and Teresa and Maria, and we opened up Scholars, and it was great. It was a really like family connection. I had previously worked in the district, and it was nothing like I had ever known. We had so much help. We were opening that building the day before school. It was much different than how we opened Coastal. We had very comfort in opening Coastal. So when we talk about opening a school, I mean, it was nothing like I had ever seen. Desks were being put together. They called in kids that needed service hours from down south in Florida. We had the whole CSUSA team coming up, opening up our school. We had, I don't know if she still works with the company now, but we had a lady named Katie. She was great. She was our CS. She came in and she helped us so much. We had a really good team. We had a lot of support from a lot of big players in CSUSA. And I remember being so anxious because John Hayes, it was like the school was just right under his eye. So he actually came into our classroom several times and observed us. Yeah. So it was really cool. It was a really cool experience. And then, my journey ended, unfortunately. And we opened many schools while I was there. We opened Bay Meadows at the time. I did all of the interviews alongside with Maria and several other teachers. I was part of that team. I remember Teresa Brown and I went down to the University of Florida to recruit teachers for quite some time. So I feel like in my, 3 years there with CSUSA, at the time I was at Scholars, we really did a lot. And Westside opened during that time. This is my daughter, Lily, who's actually a kindergartner at Coastal right now. She should be doing her online learning, but we're still in PJs.
Wait, I'm over here.
Hi, Lily. Anyway, go ahead, Brittany.
So anyway, that was really cool. And it was just such a cool experience to be a part of that during that time. And I loved my time at Scholars, and it's just something that held dear to me. I felt like I was like dying when Teresa went to Bay Meadows that year. She switched over, but it was really cool to be a part of that. So I feel like I've really kind of had a hand in helping open, even though I wasn't a part of Flagler and the other schools. I was really a part of Westside, and I was really a part of Bay Meadows opening up. So that was really cool to see those little babies grow and how much they've grown now, and to be a part of Scholars, and then to see all of the programs that they've implemented there. And then unfortunately, we were relocated back to Pensacola, and there was no CSUSA there. So I had to take a little break. But then when I came back, I was really fortunate to be a part of Coastal and helping open up Coastal and work with the fabulous staff there and be a CRT. And I can tell you there's no place like home, and home is CSUSA to me. I love everything that CSUSA encompasses, and I can't tell you that there's not a company that will care more about you or a school than CSUSA does about you and your family. And I'm about to get emotional talking about that, but that's a huge reason. I don't know. I call it drinking the Kool-Aid, but I love it. I love CSUSA. And I think that you can't really feel that love until you're a part of that family and you join the CSUSA team, and you're a part of that family, because that's really, even though I don't personally know John Hage and Sherry Hage, I almost feel like a part of their family, because when I hear them talk, like, it's just everything they say is solid. What they say, they really mean. I really felt like if I was like struggling with something and I needed them, I feel like they'd be like, Miss Davis, we will help you. But I feel like that's everyone in the CSUSA network. And I feel like we can say it all day, but until you've lived it and you've experienced it, it's like, I try to explain it to people and I'm like, no, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not crazy. I seriously love where I work. And I can't tell you how thankful I am that even though we're moving, that I actually get to stay with CSUSA, because that was probably like, I feel like I've been moping around like, oh, I have to stay with CSA. Like, how can we get them in Virginia? And now this opportunity has come up, and I'm so thankful, because it's hard to leave your home. I mean, it really is. And they really are a huge part of our life. Like, my daughter, she loves Coastal. She loves her teachers. I can't think of a better network of educators. I mean, through and through, they really do put kids first. They really do think of everyone and their family. And, at the end of the day, they all know that we're parents. They know that we're educators, and they really support you. And they really do have not only educators' best interest, but also the students' interest, at heart, because even though they're a business, it's not necessarily ran like a business. I feel like it's more ran like a family. And I love that.
I feel like I need to share a couple of things here, Ms. Davis. First of all, you had a total of, this is what happened this morning, guys. We were going to come on and kind of talk about, the closing of the year. And Brittany texted me, and it was the kind of Brittany text you get from Brittany Davis. It was like, hey, have an awesome Tuesday. Just something like that. And I thought, okay, I'm going to get Brittany Davis on. So it really was kind of unsolicited. And I love everything you said, and couldn't agree more about CSUSA. The other thing I think that parents may be seeing is that Brittany Davis may talk more than Greg Stickel. That was one question, and you went like 12 minutes. That was awesome, though.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I know. If I really wanted to make you cry, I know how I could do that. And that's to say, if I just simply ask you this question, you're going to tear up just by me saying this. Tell me how much Teresa Brown has meant to you as a mentor and a friend. I suspect that could get the tears flowing pretty quick if I got you talking about that. So it really is. And for those that don't know, Teresa Brown is kind of a legend in the Jacksonville area. She opened up several schools in that area, now works for the Noble Education Initiative. And the impact that she had on several leaders and future leaders in our school, in our CSUSA network, is phenomenal. So, and Brittany's just a testimony to that. So I'm not going to get you there, because I know that's a sensitive topic.
But I do want to add, though, I mean, not just Teresa, but I feel like you've been a huge part of my educational journey too, because you've pushed me a lot to be the best that I can, and you've really been a great mentor about pushing me to reach my capacity. And I don't think that I'll ever reach like full capacity, because we never do. We keep striving for the best, but I'm really thankful for you and all of the opportunities that you have afforded me to grow in my educational leadership and pushed me. And I'm very, very thankful for that. So anyone that works with you, they need to count themselves super lucky, because I'm serious. I love that everything, CSUSA encompasses, but also too, I love that with you as well. You have that same mindset. You want people to grow and be the best that they can be. And I'm telling you, I have grown so much more with CSUSA and through working with you and Teresa Brown and Miss Ford and now Mr. Hilliker. So many people, we are given the best opportunities to grow. And I can tell you from working inside the district and also inside CSUSA, I have grown more with CSUSA in the almost 7 years ish that I've worked with them, 6.5, 7 years, somewhere in there, that I have worked with them versus, any short amount of time or anything that I learned in college. Cause they really do. It's like, they put you in there and they let you get your hands in there, and they let you get hands-on experience, and they give you the chance to grow as a leadership, and they trust you to make the choices, and they give you the opportunities to grow. And I love that about them.
Hey, Brittany, there's no way that we could have an interview with you without talking about the most magical place on earth. Guys,
I know that will make me cry. Stop
Brittany
it.
Davis goes to, some people say, I go to Disney every weekend. She goes to Disney like every day. Like she's completely out of control. So I don't know how you're surviving this without actually going to Disney World. Because I know your family always, many of your family memories are there in the Magic Kingdom.
I'm super sad that it's closed right now. But we were actually scheduled to go. My husband was supposed to be in Paris, and we were going to meet there and go to Disneyland Paris. But unfortunately, we were not able to do that because of COVID. But that's okay. We are not going to be able to. It's looking like the military is going to say no travel across borders and, to different states, and different countries. Sorry, not different states, but different countries. So we actually have something super magical planned for December. That's really all I can say, because tiny ears are around us. So we're excited about that. But yes, I'm going to Florida next week just to check in with Coastal, because I'm actually in Tennessee. We've been displaced. Right now, we're in transition to trying to move to Virginia, and we've put a contract in on a home. But I was like, I really thought about driving down just to Disney Springs because it's open just for one day, because I'm like itching to get there. Don't judge
guys,
me.
Listen, my wife Vanessa and I had some wonderful trips to Disney. Brittany actually talked us into being annual pass holders, and she'd always lay out like what are they called? The Fast passes. She would lay it out for us.
You're not making me a proud annual pass holder right now.
I know.
Cut that out.
But you did a great job with that, and I appreciate it.
Yes.
Brittany, obviously we're going long, but what do you expect with the two of us talking? That's probably going to happen. With that, I know you haven't had a lot of time, because actually right now I think you're pulling double duty. You're supporting the second grade NWA.
I am. So that's why you see me kind of lose.
Yeah, Miss Crowley, one of the ESE teachers, I think, just tried to contact you right before we went on the air. So
I hope she's not watching. She's going to be really mad.
I wish she was. She's such a great person. But with that, let's talk a little bit about digging into the social emotional learning curriculum, and why you think that's such an important mission for our students.
That's a huge thing of what goes along right with CSUSA, and it's encompassing the whole child. And honestly, I think the first lesson that you should learn straight out the bat of, when you're in college, I think that if I was a professor, I'm clearly not, and I am not qualified to be a college professor, but if I was, I think the first lesson that I would want my students to know is that you really have to invest on the social emotional side of education. Because if you don't, you're really not going to get anywhere with your students, because everything, as we know, not just relationships with our peers is building, relationships with peers, but also with your students, because you're going to win your students over much more when they're invested and they know that you care about them. So that follows right hand in hand with the social emotional learning. And I think that that's so important, because these tiny humans, kindergarten and up, I still consider, don't judge me, but I still consider even middle school kids, they're still semi-tiny humans. And, they're just a little larger, but their hearts are still the same. And they all, I always tell the kids, and I always tell the people that I work with, try to always assume, and you say this too, assume positive intentions. And I think that's the same with students. And I think it's really important. And I think that they really want to grow and they want to learn. And I think a part of that is, giving them that mindset and giving them that heart. And I think, that's something that's so important today, is teaching them the tools and giving them the tools on the social emotional side of things, because I think that we as educators have to invest in that in order to see the academic side of things. Because I have seen students grow, so much, they've really, really struggled their entire academic careers. And then they get to me and their moms or their dads are like, gosh, how did you get the student to do that? I'm like, well, I just found out what they like first. And, just took a few minutes to make sure that they know that they're loved and they're appreciated. just like kids, they want to know that they're loved and, they want to be nurtured. And I think that's so important for us to make sure that we're doing that and giving them the right tools. And I think with AIA, I mean, the gentleman that wrote the whole program, I mean, look at him. He's like awesome. And he's out there, he's doing it. And I love it. And I'm excited about this program because, he has such confidence, and I love that. And I think it's so important for the kids to see that you can overcome anything. That man has had challenge after challenge after challenge. And if he can overcome anything, so can we. And, I love to say this, my mother-in-law, she's one of my big heroes. She's right behind me. So right over there. But she always says this, and this is true. You can do anything for a little while, and you really can. And I really think it's important for the kids to know that, especially even now in times that are hard, you can do anything for a little bit. But guess what? We have to teach them. We have to teach them how to overcome all these battles that they're going to see, because they're not just going to see academic battles. They're actually going to, they face social battles every day. Middle school's a scary place. So
yes. Brittany, I suspect that anyone watching, as a matter of fact, I'm really tempted to share this kind of testimonial, this kind of impromptu testimonial, share it with some of the CSUSA leadership. And I suspect they'll see why I'm so committed to bringing you into the Mevers family and keeping you a part of the CSUSA family, because you do exemplify what we're looking for. Again, no one works harder than Brittany Davis. No one smiles more than Brittany Davis. No one's more goofy than Brittany Davis. And all of those things combined really are kind of the magic of we can have fun. And as you know, our goal there was to make sure every student arrived with a smile and left with a smile. And we did that. And it was really because of people like you. So Brittany, thanks for texting this morning. It gave us a chance to have a little interview. I don't want to put you on the spot. I normally end with telling us your favorite kind of dad joke. If you got one, great. If not, I'm okay. You got anything you want to share with a silly little joke?
Man, Sticks, we've done so many jokes, it's hard to choose.
We have done a lot. Yes, and we have continued the Stickle joke of the day, by the way.
I feel like I need to share my favorite. It's like dad joke / Cinderella joke. I apologize again, multitasking. You probably know which one I'm gonna say.
I won't answer. Not like Coral.
Why was Cinderella so bad at soccer?
Why?
Because she was always late to the ball.
Oh, whether you like it or not, you've been Davised. Hey, Brittany.
That's so rude.
I know. Listen, hey, but instead of Stickle, hey, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us on such short notice. Do me a favor, tell those second grade teachers that you were late responding to them because of me. Hopefully that brings a smile to your face, and please tell them that I miss them. All right, excellent.
That's why you see me shift. But
okay,
hey, I did want to throw this out there. I realized this morning, whenever I got dressed, I wasn't in logo because, don't judge me, I wasn't prepared to be on screen today. But I need everyone to not judge me because I'm wearing my Tennessee gear, because I feel like maybe some of you that are watching it up there in South Carolina are like judging me for my Tennessee. But I need you to know it's like a part of me, so don't judge. But
yeah, it's unusual to see you out of logo. Again, you had like a total of about 20 minutes to knowing you were going to be doing this, and with that, we were going to spend the last 6 minutes judging you. So even though you won't be here, just know we will be talking about you, Davis.
That's okay. I still love you anyway. It's not a big deal.
Okay. Hey, Ms. Davis, thank you very much, guys. We will take a few questions after this. Ms. Davis, thank you for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Hey, I told you guys she's a bit of a talker.
Yeah, now we don't have to answer as many questions.
And remember, I'm the one who gets to slime you for Boosterthon. Just keep that in the back of your head there for next week.
You keep bringing it up. Not like
keep bringing it up, because a slime may come out before Boosterthon.
I don't know if you heard. Did you hear me when she was telling her joke?
Yes.
Yes, that's what we're saying.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
You can't let it go.
You may end up slimed before Boosterthon. Just putting it out.
I do need to let that go.
Yeah.
I keep saying I'm going to let it go,
but you just can't.
Hanging it and letting go. There are two different things. Guys, I know you two have never met Brittany Davis, but hopefully you got a little glimpse at who she is. One, as an amazing teacher, an amazing coach, but more importantly, an amazing role model for kids. And she truly exemplifies everything that CSUSA stands for. So I'm just thrilled that she's going to be working with our kids and working with our teachers. And
they're going to love her. Everybody's going to love her.
She's planning on coming down, maybe once a month or maybe once every 2 weeks from Virginia, just so she can kind of physically be there and be part of the staff. And she's so happy to be able to stay as part of the CSUSA family. And I don't know that I've let Teresa Brown know that, but I need Teresa to know that we're keeping Brittany on. So it's really exciting. Do you have any questions?
We do not. Some people are excited about a social emotional learning component. Schwartz says hi. Lots of good morning. Yeah, no questions right now. So anything you want to talk about?
Guys, there's a couple things I want to talk about. Go figure. Our main focus right now, I felt like we were really starting to jump into planning for next year, which we had to, but we didn't want to lose sight of the last 2 weeks of this year and just making sure that we finish strong with the grades that are doing the benchmark testing, and it's 357, as well as making sure we celebrate the hard work of our students and our parents over this unusual time. We just want to make sure we really feel like our teachers did an amazing job of really listening to our parents and finding just that right balance of how much to push the needle forward without overwhelming, but still making sure that we were moving the needle forward with our with the state standards and providing the right amount of rigor and differentiation. And I really feel like Mevers has established that really strong balance. But as we know, the last thing your last experience is what you remember, and so we want to make sure that we finish just as strong, just as efficient, just as organized, and with just as much empathy and celebration. So there's a lot of work going into particularly the kindergarten promotion, the 8th grade promotion, making sure those go well, making sure we celebrate the hard work of the kids and get the report cards out in a timely manner. So there's a lot of work right now, and this is kind of out to the parents, just so you know, of like striking that balance with winding down the year, but maintaining the positivity that you've helped us create about our school and the synergy. It's not just energy, but it's synergy that's more than the parents or the kids or the teachers by themselves. Those three groups together have made this incredible, unusual time a positive experience somehow, and it just really exemplifies who we are as a school family. That we can take a challenging time and still find the positive. And I heard Miss Davis say something that we said quite often. I don't know why, but I think I said it to Miss Coyle yesterday. That whenever I go into a meeting, I always usually I verbalize the phrase "presume positive intentions," because we always have to. And I think our school has done that. That even though it's a challenging time, we can still focus on the positive. We can make the best of what we can control, and sometimes let go of what we can't control, and kind of the importance of knowing the difference. And again, without simplifying too much, kind of making lemonade from lemons. But that's really what we've done. And I'm very happy with that. So there's more details that'll be particularly coming from your grade level teachers, but we're really excited with the plan and organization we have for kind of closing down the school year and finishing strong. Anything you guys want to add on that, Ms. Coyle or Ms. Davidson?
There is a question that kind of has to do with that, if you wanted to answer that. It's, will you offer another online club day again before school is out?
That's a really good question, and we've actually had that conversation. Of course, if we were going to do that, we all know Ms. Davidson would be the one organizing that. That was a really popular day. We can discuss it. I think last time we discussed it, we felt like it might be a little too much as we're winding down, as we're kind of focused on getting all the makeup work in, and kind of focused on, again, the benchmarks and the celebration. I think we felt like it was a bit much, but that's something that Ms. Coyle, Ms. Davidson, and I can certainly discuss. Probably shortly after the show, we'll discuss that and make sure that we let everyone know. Great question, because that was a really, really fun day. And again, that's who we want to be. Even in challenging times, we still want to have fun and find reasons to smile and have fellowship. Great question. Anything else, guys? We're 7, 8, 9 seconds over. No, it's not. Okay. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Again, this is our last show. Tomorrow is our first kindergarten Zoom session with our parents. We're really excited about that. We have 4 separate ones that are set up. And one of the things we're trying to logistically work out, parents, just so you know, is each one of your children is incredibly special and unique, and they make Mevers better. And it's so important that you understand, and we understand that that's the center of your universe, and that individual child is precious. So we're trying to work out logistically a way to where at least over the month of June, we can have a separate Zoom session, 5 to 7 minutes with every single parent who wants 5 to 7 minutes with me, just to kind of talk about whatever you want to talk about, suggestions that you may have, comments that you want to make. But I want to afford every parent that opportunity to know that CSUSA is unique and different. And we do focus on every child, and we want to make sure every parent has a voice in helping create the CSUSA footprint here at Mevers. So with that, guys, we're going to say have a great rest of the day, and thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, guys.